Oh, there you are, YouTube. I just watched a Keanu movie for the first time. Well, not the first time ever watching a Keanu movie. A movie for the first time that Keanu is in. And am I saying that right? Okay, I watched a movie called 47 Ronin for the first time. How about that? That movie stars Keanu Reeves. Actually, he's kind of like a supporting character. It doesn't star him. But if you look at a lot of the promotional imagery, it does. And this is kind of like another movie where they finished the film and then they were like, there's not enough Keanu. So they had to like re-edit it. And I think, that took the movie some extra time to get out into the world. And by that point, people had lost interest. So it sort of bombed. I think it had like a high budget and then it bombed. But yeah, 47 Ronin I thought was pretty good, and if they had marketed it the right way, I think it could have maybe been bigger than it was, because I feel like I don't remember it coming out in theaters at all, and it came out around 2012, 2013, 2014, somewhere in those like 3 years is when it came out, and I just missed it. Like, I don't remember it at all, and I don't think I knew about it until we started this marathon and we started looking at Keanu movies. It's like, oh, I don't know that one, but apparently it like went to theaters, but it went like, during like an oversaturated period. So it wasn't like he could maybe stand out, or the movie could stand out as much, like it was either like summer or Christmas time, sometime around then when the movie came out. So there were a lot of films coming out, and that one just kind of got buried, I guess. But I thought it was pretty impressive. Like, I don't know. The special effects, kind of felt a little like maybe 2005, you could say. Something like that. But overall, I was impressed with the special effects, considering I hadn't heard of the movie. Like, it was one of those deals where it was like, because I hadn't heard of it, I was thinking the special effects probably aren't that good. And then, like, Replicas, we watched that movie Replicas, and it was like, never heard of this one, and it's a newer one. And it was like, the special effects probably aren't going to be very good in this. It was had like a robot in it. And they weren't very good. They were sort of what you expect from a movie that you haven't heard of. But this movie, hadn't heard of it, and the special effects were great. And it's sort of like a stylized, fantasized version of the story of the 47 Ronin, which I hadn't heard, so I need to look into the actual story, because again, this is very stylized, so I'm sure I'm getting nothing accurate, or very little accuracy, or half accuracy, or accuracy with a lot of fantasy, a lot of stylization to it. So, basically I'm not getting the real story, but from what I watched, I was kind of surprised with the way things went at the end. It was just kind of like, oh, wow, I can't believe this didn't, get stopped or something like this after what these people did. It was just kind of like an ending where you're like, oh no, man, I don't know. You see, you follow these people. I guess I'm going to get into spoilers here. You follow these people throughout the entire film, and then they start to grow on you. I mean, they were interesting characters to begin with, and then at the end, they all die. And it's just kind of like, Rogue One, where it's just kind of like, man, all of our characters that we followed and, grew to love, we lose them all. And it was just kind of like sad to see and surprising to see, because, movies don't usually end like that. And, with Rogue One, you knew it was going to end like that because you've seen the other Star Wars movies. And maybe you know the story of 47 Ronin, so if you know, then you know what's going to happen, but I didn't. So I was just like, wow, that is not what I was expecting. I thought somebody was going to step in there and say, actually, you don't have to kill yourself. So, but didn't happen. So sorry for those spoilers right there. Hope I didn't give anything away. I hope you stopped the video in time. But yeah, Keanu Reeves is interesting. In this, he plays sort of an outsider to these like samurai. I mean, he's not a samurai, but he's sort of like around them all the time, right? I don't know. He's kind of like adopted into the culture. And but then he sort of like works his way up to being, considered a samurai, which was nice because I think he sort of, always wanted to be. But yeah, they went from Ronin to samurai, I believe, right? If I understood the movie correctly, at the very end, like they are referred to as samurai before they are, before they kill themselves. What is that called? Seppuku? Am I saying that right? So yeah, I thought it was an interesting movie. I wish it had been marketed better, or marketed at all, because I think it could have been easily marketed. I mean, I don't know really where people were with Keanu at that point because it was after The Matrix. We hadn't had John Wick yet. Maybe he was just sort of floating around. I'm trying to remember what was going on during that time period. I don't know. When was Constantine? But anyway, I don't know. I just feel like it could have been a bigger movie. I read that a sequel, which would be interesting, was ordered in 2020 and it's set to start filming this year in 2021. So I gotta learn if that's still going on or if COVID has changed that or what, because that could be interesting, and I wonder how they would go about that based off of that ending that I saw in the movie. So yeah, I just really liked all the fantasy elements to it. I'm not sure how people feel about that, considering it's a true story, but I found that to be pretty compelling and interesting and made for great visuals. But again, when you're dealing with something real, some people, may not want that. Like Titanic, it's a real event, but a lot of fiction to it. Some people, don't like that aspect. But I don't know. I quite enjoyed it and think it could have done better with the right marketing. So on that note, perhaps I'll see you tomorrow for more Pure Hangout.